5 VHS. Good. So it's 5 VHS. Yeah. That's good. You're damn hit, you know. It needs some water. There's water in the grip, you need to bring it in. I will tell you, I think he's picking on my son. Yeah. All right, I can show the thumb, all the brothers, y'all should know that, I should know shout out, sisters. Any questions? Y'all know what the topic is. Y'all see the topic. The topic is courage. You got any questions? Speak up. Is our boy, damn it? No sweat, you ain't got no questions? All right, no sweat. We're gonna jump straight into the topic. Any questions, y'all let me know. I'll try to touch it at the end of the class, since I'm already gonna get into my topic. Understand? The topic is courage. I mean, Isaiah 41:10. Right? Courage is something that is absolutely necessary for you to be an officer of the Lord. You cannot be an officer of the Lord and be a coward. You cannot be a punk. You cannot be what the old West would call a yellow belly. You can't be none of that, man. If you are going to be in the I.S.U.P.K and be a priest and prophet of God, you have to have courage. I mean, Isaiah 41:10.
Isaiah 41:10. I can got it. Fear or doubt not, for I am with thee.
The reason you fear in the world, you in the world, you scared of everything. You scared to turn the corner. You scared to leave the house. You scared what's going to happen if you stop listening to your woman. You scared what's going to happen if you stop celebrating Christmas. If you don't go to the church. If you tell a white man no. So if you tell an oppressor no. You tell any one of our oppressors no. You know what I'm saying? You tell any of them, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not your slave. You are afraid. You're afraid to act like a free man because God is not with you. When God is with you, you fear not. There's nothing to fear. Read on.
Be not dismayed.
Be not dismayed, man.
For I am thy God. I am thy
power.
Thy power.
You understand? Like our power is a living power. It's the God of Israel. Our power is not. It's not Baal. It's not the calf. It's not a fat Buddha statue. It's not a rock. It's not an elephant. You understand? Like our God is a living God. Our God created. Our God allows the minds of people to even think of other gods. Our God is the one that created everything you see here, everything you see here, and everything you don't see. We have a living power who orchestrates life and death. That's who you should fear. You shouldn't fear anything else. The reason why you're scared of everything else is because you're not an I.S.U.P.K. and you're not a man or woman of God. Read.
Kind. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
Your right hand in the Bible, even today, most people are right-handed, right? So that's known to be your cunning hand. So a lot of times people say they're cunning, the hand you right with your dominant hand. I believe it's like 80% of the world is going to tell you it's their right hand. You understand? So with the right hand of my righteousness, my most cunning hand will I uphold you. The Most High will use spectacular things for blacks and Hispanics to get them out of the situation that we are in. The problem is you're afraid to stop smoking weed because you don't want to deal with the issue that you have in your life. You're afraid to stop drinking alcohol because you're afraid to deal with the issues that you have in your life. You're afraid to leave the church because the church provides you an escape from the reality that you were touched as a child, an escape from reality that there was no love in your household, an escape from the reality that we're under an oppressor who has made us slaves without chains in 2019. You try to escape that with the church and drugs and whores and prostitution. I got you all. You try to escape that, but it does not work. In order to escape the poverty, the oppression, the hatred that blacks and Hispanics receive in America, you have to turn to your God. He will say this with the right hand of his righteousness, with cunning. Understand? Drop that. Give me 2 Timothy 1:7. With the cunning can the Most High save us, man. You can't be saved by what the pastor's saying in the church. You can't be saved with your vain thoughts. Weed and YouTube is not going to get you saved at all. Weed and YouTube has never worked for anybody. You smoke weed, you watch YouTube videos, and you think you know everything you need to know about the world. 1 second. You start talking about the government killed this person, the government did this, they putting this in the food, they doing that. You start talking about everything that's not important to the salvation of blacks and Hispanics. You're not getting nobody off of drugs, no women out of the strip club, no hoes off the stripper poles, no brothers from stopping killing themselves by smoking weed and watching YouTube. But the Most High can do that.
And he does that through commanding YAHANNA by raising up the I.S.U.P.K and the men inside the I.S.U.P.K. That's the right hand of righteousness. That's his cunning. That's the miracle that's being raised up. If you're a man of the I.S.U.P.K, it's a miracle you are here. You're a walking miracle on earth. You don't need to believe in Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and the DC heroes and all of these other superheroes that are fake and made up because they're modeled after you. You are a walking superhero. Me 2 Timothy 1:7. Hey, Yakazak, you have something you want to say? The first precept in Isaiah is Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. All right, no sweat. Give me 2 Timothy 1:7.
2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. For Yahweh has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power.
Read that again.
For Yahweh has not given a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind.
If you have a spirit of fear, let me tell you something. A part of becoming an actual prophet, not a self-proclaimed prophet, but a prophet after the order of Melchizedek, a prophet after Christ, a prophet like Abraham, Obadiah, Isaiah, etc. The list goes on forever. A prophet like these men, the process of doing that is you eliminate all fear. You can fear nothing. We're going to touch on a couple topics where fear entered into the minds of men and it caused the most mighty of men to fall. We're going to touch on some of those instances in the Bible. Because in order to be a proper priest and prophet, you can fear nothing. If you fear the Most High, there's no room for you to fear nothing else. Because you know he orchestrated everything else. How can I fear man when I know that the Most High created man? I know the Most High can kill any man that is in my path. The Most High can destroy any obstacle that is in my way. How could you fear the obstacle? How could you fear the man? How could you fear the slave master if you know that the Most High only put him here because we are disobedient? You become obedient. You start fearing the Most High. You no longer fear the slave master. There's no fear in your heart anymore. Now you have the courage of 1,000 men. Now you have the courage of a prophet. Now you can raise a nation up. That's the courage of the Most High. That's the spirit, the Holy Spirit that's supposed to be in every man inside the I.S.U.P.K. Give me 2 Timothy. You read 1:7, right? Read it one more time for me.
Come. For Yahweh has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
So you have to ask yourself, you have the spirit of fear. Where does that come from? Where does the spirit of fear come from? So, Satan. You understand? Like Satan's job is to prove that you don't want to do your job and serve the Most High. That's his job. His job is to say, no, he's unworthy. He doesn't want this. No, she's unworthy. She doesn't want this. That is Satan's job. That's what he does. He does it very well. So fear is allowed to creep in your heart, which is what? Your mind. If you allow fear inside your mind and you allowed to take over your life and not power through it, that means you are working for Satan. You're not working for the Most High. You can't be a priest and prophet and fear things. There's nothing you can fear. You understand? You cannot fear going to camp. I know brothers who left the truth because we were bringing a camp to their city. I know brothers who were the first in their city at a time and said, well, damn it, we're bringing a camp here. Most on Christ. And as it inched closer, it was, I don't know if we could bring it here. I don't know. You know, they got them KKK members out here. You know, them folks, them pale skin, the Caucasian folks, they be out here wilding on us. I'm not sure you can bring the camp out here and succeed. That was fear. That's fear. And all of them have fell out. You wanna know why? When you serve God, there's no room for fear. There's room for one of two things. There's room for the Most High, or there's room to be scared. If you're gonna be a punk, you can stay home. You understand? You're gonna be a punk, you can stay home. Cowards can stay home. This is UPK, One West, no cowards since 1969. We never played that. We're not about to start playing that.
So I can see.
Yeah.
A little break down on sound mind.
A breakdown on sound mind. Just read it again. Come the second part. But of power. But of power.
And of love and of a sound mind.
So first, power, right? The spirit of fear is not something that the Most High gave us. He gave us the spirit of power, right? It's very manly, it's very masculine, it's very righteous for a man to want to accumulate power. Now, not every man needs to have a certain amount of power. Like it says in James chapter 3. Not every man needs to have the same amount of power. Not every man needs to have a large amount of power. But it is a very masculine trait to want to accumulate power, whether that be rank in the office of the Lord, or maybe you sew, maybe you do garments, and maybe you have one shop and you want to open 15 and serve the nation. You're accumulating power in a department, aren't you? The spirit of wanting power is very masculine. Not to say women can't want to accumulate things as well, but the spirit of want to accumulate power, especially in the office of the Lord, is a very masculine thing, right? So that's the opposite of fear. It says, and of love. What is love? According to the Bible, what is love? Somebody answer. Come. Following the law, statutes, and commandments is love. You understand? So the opposite of fear is for a man to be masculine, want to accumulate power. I want to take over this area, that area, and that area. I want this many men. I want to do this. We want to take over here. We want to go there. We want to push the truth everywhere. Masculine. Love is masculine. Contrary to what your wife is telling you, contrary to what the pastor told you, contrary to what your mother told you, contrary to what you've witnessed all your life as a Black and Hispanic in America, love is a masculine trait. Love is something. Now, of course, when I say these things, don't get so caught up in it and say, "Oh, so my woman loves me. She's a man now." No, love, following the laws, statutes, and commandments. The better wording for it. It makes a man. You understand? The opposite, fear makes a punk. Fear makes a punk. It makes a coward. That's what fear makes. Power, the want of power, to accumulate power. The want of love, to follow your God, creates a man. That's what makes a man. Read the next part.
And of a sound mind.
A sound mind. So if you know that fear is the opposite of power, it is the opposite of love. I mean, it also has to be the opposite of having a sound mind. Brother, have you ever seen anyone doped up? I mean, doped up to the point where they're about to fall out. Doped up to the point where their pants is literally around their calves and they're leaning over, rocking back and forth. That's not having a sound mind. If the opposite of having a sound mind is fear, having a sound mind is being completely level-headed. All your decisions are made with a precision. You make a decision about the slave, it's precise. You make a decision about your woman, it's precise. You make a decision about the decorations you're going to put up in your house, it's precise. And that seems what? That seems micro, right? That seems like, oh, that's something small. That's not what we're really talking about. A sound mind is being level-headed. You're able to make decisions about anything and everything, from running a government, which the men of the I.S.U.P.K are trained for, to picking which pair of pants you want out the department store. Have you ever noticed men usually don't spend as much time inside the store as women? Women have less of a sound mind than you. They're the weaker vessel. I hope we all know that, right? Women are the weaker vessel. You go into a department store, you like, if it fit and it's loose, I'm getting it and I'm leaving. That's it, right? Women walk in there and do what? Don't even look fat. I don't think they pull out this curve enough. I don't think, no, it's not. It's making me look a certain way that I don't really like. And they'll try on 1,000 dresses inside that damn store. And you sitting there mad as hell. You sitting there waiting mad as hell. But you have a sound mind. Everything you do is level-headed. You make every decision with the utmost preciseness. That's being of a sound mind. When you're a crackhead, you can't make sound decisions. Because every decision you make is based on how to get the next $5 to go get that damn bag. When you're on weed, let me tell you something. There's something powerful that a rap artist had said. He said all his friends that ever got killed was killed when it was hot. Meaning, now that's the Lord anyway. The Lord wants you dead, the Lord's going to kill you, right? But he's saying maybe if they weren't inebriated, maybe if they weren't smoked out, maybe if they wasn't popped off them pills at that time, maybe they would have been able to react to those bullets a different way. Maybe they would have been more of a sound mind, right? That's a sound mind. It's a level-headed mind. You come across the men of the I.S.U.P.K, that's why they say we don't smile much. We don't smile much because we're in a sound mind. Everything is level. We're not trying to overcompensate for being slaves. You understand? A slave smiles in his master's face all day to try to overcompensate for the fact that he's a slave. Or he'll get overly aggressive and be one of the brothers telling us to go grab guns and shoot the white man, right? Shoot the oppressor. He'll be the one telling us to do that. That's not a sound mind. That's a man that's here and a man that's here. And I.S.U.P.K, we're here. You understand? We're here. We know very well that we could physically fight, but we also know that there's a better fight to be had. There's a more important fight to be had. Like, brother, you're going to fight and go to jail or get killed by the cops. You might take a couple down with you. Or then they'll just remember you while they're still eating pork in the church. Remember that brother? Yeah, he said some powerful stuff when they gunned him down. He took like 3 with him, but he said some powerful stuff when they gunned him down. Or you could be the brother that goes to camp and cleans the church out, cleans the street up of our people. There's better wars to fight. You understand? That's being of a sound mind. And it takes courage to have a sound mind. It takes courage to say, yes, our life, you spent, before you found the truth, you spent 30 years of your life in bullshit. It's a lot, kid. Forgive me. In the world. You spent 30 years of your life in the world being destroyed, like every other black and Hispanic. It takes courage to say, I'm going to forget all of that, and I'm going to embody it in the hatred for my oppressor. And I'm going to embody it in the love for my people. And I'm going to forget that. I'm going to forget the hurt it did to me and use it to fuel me to fight my oppressor and to save my people. You understand? Most people just smoke drugs and pop whores and become gay. You understand? That's what most people do. All right. Give me Acts chapter 13, verse 20. Acts 13 and 20.
Acts chapter 13, verse 20. And after that, he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years, until Samuel the prophet. 21.
Now, what is this talking about? Where are we at in the Bible? What story is this bringing up? You're paying attention? Read it again.
And after that, he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years, until Samuel the prophet.
So what is this talking about?
It's a lot, sir. If I could, I think that's after they came out of the desert.
After we came out of the wilderness,
and there was he gave them judges.
We had judges for 450 years
until they started asking for
a king, Messiah Christ. Samuel the prophet came around, and around the time of Samuel, the people, us, began asking for a king. Why? Because everyone else had a king. The Japanese had a king, the Chinese had a king, the Caucasians had a king, the Arabs had a king. Everyone had someone who ruled over them, one man they answered to. When we answered to the Most High, we had priests and prophets set up, and we all followed the Most High. But we saw the other nations, and as always, we took what we had for granted and wanted what they had and asked for a king. We don't.
Come. And afterward they desired a king. And Yahweh gave unto them Saul, the son of Cis.
Saul, son of Cis, Saul the Benjamite, yeah.
A man of the tribe of Benjamin, by the space of 40 years. 22. And when he had removed them, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony. And he said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will.
So when he removed Saul, why did he remove Saul? Why did the Most High remove Saul?
Salakia, sir. Saul was disobedient to the Most High.
Very disobedient. What was the last straw? What was Saul's last straw?
If I could, sir. I think when he conquered I'm not too sure, I forgot what the nations he went to fought with them, and the Most High told him not to take anything.
That's right.
And he took like the best of every calves or whatever.
That's okay. I believe actually the Most High told him not to take and to kill everyone. Right? What did he do that pissed the Most High off? He saved the king alive. He saved the king alive. What nation was this? This was the Jewish man. This was the Ashkenaz Jew, the fake Jew, who took our title years later. Saul was supposed to kill them off thousands of years or thousands of years before they took our identity. You understand? Saul was supposed to eliminate those people way before they ever got the chance to steal our identity and create the Diamond District in Brooklyn, create Hollywood. Before they ever got a chance to do that, Saul was supposed to kill them. Saul did not kill them. Saul became greedy and he wanted to please his own eyes and imprisoned the king. So the Most High removed him and set up David. Read that the 22nd chapter again, verse again.
Sir. And when he had removed them, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will.
After he removed Saul for being a disobedient man, he found David. He found David to be a man after his own heart. Meaning what? If you know anything about the stories of David, what can you never say David was? A coward. You can never say David was a coward. David was a shepherd. David was tilling to the sheep, and a lion came to come and take the sheep. And David grabbed the lion by his mane and killed the lion barehanded. You can never say David was a coward. When the entire army of Israel, which we're going to get into later, cowered before a tall African, the entire army, no one wanted, they ain't even say let's jump him. Like that didn't even cross their mind. Let's just jump him. No, they didn't even think of that. They said he's just too big. This is too much. I repent from battle. They didn't want no more smoke, no sweat. David came on the scene. David saw how big he was. David said, oh, so what's going to happen to the man that does kill him? What reward will that man get? Oh, really? Is that so? I'll be right back. And David proceeded to handle his job, the job that his brother should have did. You can never say David was a coward. So if it says David was a man after the Lord's own heart, what can you say the Lord hates? If the Lord loves what David was, and David was no coward, what can you say the Lord hates? Cowards. The Lord hates cowards. You're useless to your nation. What could you do? Now, unlike what General Hyman said, unlike the other races of people, you don't get killed for being a coward in this world. You just get told to go home and sleep under your woman, and she can caress you and she make you feel good, right? Because to her, you're still big machismo, right? But on the battlefield, you're not useful. So you should just go home. Go home and watch the kids and wash the dishes. Go home and cook the meals. Go do what your wife does. Go do what your wife does. But David and people cut from that cloth, the Lord loves those people. The Lord loves those people. Those people are the ones who are going to destroy Christianity. That courage that David had, we're going to pull it right now, as a matter of fact. Give me 1 Samuel 17 and 20. That courage that David had, that is the courage that destroys Christianity, brother. The courage to walk into a church for the very last time after you done heard 1 or 2 camp speakings and start questioning your damn pastor, saying, you got me paying tithes. Every time I come in here, that damn collection plate going around. You just took tithes from me, and I already see the collection plate. You talking about we need a donation for some new benches. You said the same thing last week. I gave you my whole wallet, and this bench still broke. I don't understand that. The courage of a man walking into a church saying that and then realizing that he should never go back, realizing he should join the ranks of the I.S.U.P.K, realizing that everywhere else is a lie, that he must slay his enemies, whether by spirit or by sword. He has to slay them, and that will free his people. Those are the men that the Lord loves. Give me David's story in 1 Samuel 17 and 20.
Come God. 1 Samuel 17:20. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight and shouted for the battle.
So now the host, which is us, we're already at the battle. We're shouting, right? So now we're shouting for battle. Like, yeah, we're ready to fight. David rose up early, left, jumped off. He came, he saw us. We yelling, getting ready to fight, getting ready to war. Yeah.
Come. 22. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. Come.
Go get him. Just go get him. Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna have you pick up for me if you don't mind. So if you could do read 21 for me.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 21. For Israel and the Philistines have put the battle in array. Army against army.
Army against army. So now we're fighting. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And David left his carriage in the hands of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his
Let's make sure it's all right stuff. You know what I'm saying? Came and saluted his brethren. Read on. So he said, I was just for the thumb. Put his hand to his breast and saluted his brethren. What we do today. Yeah.
Verse 23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the army of the Philistines, and spake according to the same word. And David heard them. Verse 24. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid.
There was not one brave man in that bunch that decided that they would take on that 9-foot tall, 8-foot tall, 10-foot tall African Philistine. You understand? Philistine being one of the Africans. There was no courage amongst any man that was there. Read on.
Verse 25. And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to divide Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughters, and make his father's house free in Israel.
He said, like, brother, this is one thing that courage can immediately get you. I appreciate you. This is, like, let me tell you something, what courage can do for a man. Let me give you just a small, let me just let you know a little something about what courage can do for a man. Courage can enrich you, brother. Let me tell you what these homosexual slave masters do. These homosexual slave masters have all the courage in the world. They walk into business meetings believing that you need to do business with me and make me richer, or you will fail. That's how these forgive me, that's the wrong word. These gay slave masters walk into their business meetings. And that's why they walk out of their business meetings $50 million richer. They have the courage to tell the other person sitting across from that table at that business meeting, you need to invest in my business or you will fail. That's what courage can do for you. Give him his daughter. That's what courage can do for you. Courage gets you women. So many of you brothers you have such a hard time with women because you have no courage. The courage you're supposed to have, you just don't have it. America beat it out of you. Courage can give you, women can smell it from 10 miles away. It can give you women. You understand? And make his father's house free in Israel. Courage makes a man free. These are the things that courage can do for you. These are just some examples of what courage can do for you, brother. Just some examples. And there was no man like this found amongst the armies of Israel when David showed up. Read on.
Verse 26. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine?
What shall be done to the man that killeth? David wasted no time. David said, so you're saying, I'm getting riches. I'm getting one of the baddest women in Israel. And all the debt that my father has accrued will be wiped away. All the debt from my family's line wiped away. Read on.
What shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the army of the living power?
That he should defy the who is this man? How dare you allow a man of another nation, a heathen man, to put fear in the army of the living God? Who is this uncircumcised man that he should defy the armies of the living God? Who is he? Who is he? He's nothing. Brother, you look at everyone else like they are nothing. They're nothing compared to you. You are part of the army of the living God. Someone opposes you, they oppose the same God that flooded the earth for fornication. God, he didn't, like the Most High didn't flood the earth because the earth needed to be renewed and replenished. Like the movies that our slave masters put out, oh, the earth is dying and it's horrible. We should flood it and fix it. Or the opposite side, where they say the Most High is cruel. He's just cruel. He decided to flood the earth knowing there were people here. It's so bad. That's what they would have you believe. Well, guess what? That terrible God is your God. And anyone you oppose, he opposes. Anyone that opposes you, he opposes them. You understand? That's how that works. So how dare some uncircumcised African look down on the armies of Israel and not one man stand up to fight? It didn't fit in David's mind. You want to know why? David had too much courage. David was too One West. David was too UPK. It couldn't fit in his mind how a 9-foot-tall African could put fear in thousands of men who are trained under the living God. It couldn't fit in his mind. Read.
Verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. Verse 28. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why camest thou down hither?
So first the people were saying, David said it not once but twice, and the people answered after him saying, well, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. David is damn near saying, okay, so y'all know the rewards that's going to be given to the man that has the courage to take down Goliath. Why y'all just telling me? Why are y'all repeating these words? Why have none of y'all entered battle with this man? Have you ever seen someone tell someone, you ever heard, what's the saying? Everybody knows what they're going to do till it happens to them. You ever had somebody try to tell you everything you need to do to be successful in some situation? And then you look at them in the same damn situation and be like, I can't listen to you. You're failing. You told me you said this chicken take 40 minutes to cook. Every time you cook it for 40 minutes, it come out wrong. I can't listen to you about the damn chicken because you don't know what you're talking about. These men said riches, power, women will come from defeating Goliath. And they was looking at them like, don't y'all like riches, power, and women? Read.
And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thy heart. For thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle.
So Eliab is mad at David. Now Eliab is saying, I know why you came down. You just wanted to see the battle. Eliab was mad because David had the courage that Eliab did not have. That's why Eliab was mad. David, this is my era slang. We call it talking spicy. When you talking heavy, right? In the UPK, we call it, you drop something heavy. David dropped something heavy out his mouth. He said some heavy things. He said, you know these are the rewards, and yet you talk to me about the rewards. One of you should have claimed this reward already. This reward should be something of the past. When I rolled up, Goliath should have been laying in a ditch somewhere. But you're talking to me about the rewards. It hit a soft. You ever strike a nerve with some people? And it hit that spot. David was talking to the multitude. But you know when you talk, let me tell you, you ever been at camp and that one demon come up and they swear that you're talking to them, and you start telling them like, sis, I ain't saying nothing to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people. But it struck that nerve because that's what's bothering her. What was bothering Eliab was the fact that he ain't having enough courage to go fight Goliath. He's the brother that he really want to fight. He really want to swing that sword, but the whole time his hand and legs are shaking. It's shaking. It's shaking because he just doesn't have it in him. He just was not one Western. He was not UPK. David was too damn UPK, and the words Goliath is here, we're scared, could not fit in his mind. Read.
1 Samuel 17:29. And David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause?
He said, what have I done? He said, you checking me for showing up to the battle, but there's a reason. Obviously, there's a reason now. I showed up to the battle, lo and behold, none of y'all ready to fight. What have I done wrong? You talking about the damn, like, let me tell you something, brother. If you ever get the order to go to ground at camp, which is where, God forbid, we have to kill someone at camp, someone has to get stomped out at camp, someone has to get hurt at camp, you ever get that order, brother, no one cares about the camp signs no more. No one cares about the camera anymore. No one cares about the table or the shirts on the table or the flyers. Someone is going to die. You understand? Someone's going to get hurt. Someone may get hurt if that order is given, which is why that's a very delicate order. You have to use that order very, very wisely. Very, very wisely. Someone gets hurt when that order gets called, and it's usually not us. I don't think it's ever been us yet. You understand? He said, there's a reason I left the sheep. What are you talking about? I show up here, you start talking about the damn sheep when no one is willing to kill this man. You all sit here looking scared. He will wipe out the entire army while everyone holds their swords in between their legs. Read on.
Verse 30, and he turned from him, looked with another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner.
So now David, he done spoke to him and said, I left the sheep for a reason. Look at y'all all scared. Eliab ain't had no response. So David turned to the other people and said the same thing. He said, look, I left for a reason. Y'all not willing to fight. You telling me you gonna get glorious wardrobe and you gonna get the baddest women and your father's debt gonna be relieved and all these wonderful things are gonna happen for you. Why are y'all just talking about it? Everyone here knows the reward. Why are you talking? Everyone in America, every black person in the, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sure. You want me to? That's a bit much so for me to come to New York just to come back. Here, let me go from Jersey. Okay, can I get a call back right after class? I'm in more class. I'm a teacher class. Come on, cousin. You understand? Everyone in America knows. Everyone in America knows what? Okay, we're Black and Hispanic. We've been following our oppressor. At the very least, you know, maybe we should stop selling drugs to our people. We've been going to church for hundreds of years, and church has never improved our situation. Maybe we should stop going to church. Them brothers in the corner, they only been there for about 50 years, something like that. And they're making more progress than any other group has ever made. Maybe I should listen to them. We know what we need to do. We always know what we need to do. We never do it. You understand? That's what David is saying. You know you have to kill him. You're talking about the rewards and the women and the wardrobes and the debt-free. You're talking about all these wonderful things. And that's it. He's just talking about it. It angered David. It angered him. He couldn't even talk to Eliab no more. David turned and talked to the other people. That's how much it angered him. Read.
Verse 31. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul. And he sent for him.
Right, so now they said, oh, he talking spicy. He talking heavy. He must think he about it like that. David must think he got the juice like that. He must think he can handle the problem that is in front of us. So go tell Saul. Let's see what Saul thinks of this man, David. Read.
Verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. That servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Verse 33. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him.
David says, Saul, my Lord, my King, don't let your heart fail because of that 9-foot tall African. Thy servant, me, I'm going to go kill him. Why are you, like, let me say, put in today's slang, put in today's terms. You know we need to camp out such and such. Hey, Cat, you ain't got to worry. I'm handling that. I'm already on top of it. You ain't got to worry about that. You sit back and let me handle that. Boom, it's done. It's finished. It's done. Shit is done. It's finished. Don't worry about it. But Saul said, David, you can't handle that. Saul said, David, you want to kill this Philistine? He's 9 feet tall. Remember, David was a very beautiful man. He was ruddy. He was very beautiful. He's a baby face. David was very baby faced. Read.
Come. For thou art but a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth.
He's saying, look, David, you like 17, 18, or 25. 25 was still young, I believe, in Israel. You like between, that adolescent to adult age type thing. You around there. But he's been a man of war since he was your age. Goliath is like 45. He's been warring for 20 years. You telling me you want to jump into war with no practice? Read.
Come. Verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. Verse 35. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered him out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him.
So he's saying there was a lion. He tried to take my sheep, my cow. I killed him. I grabbed him by his beard and I killed him. I'm not a stranger to war, my king. I'm not a stranger to war, my lord. Let me handle this business for you. Man.
Verse 36. That servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
He said, this bear, said, this damn African ain't nothing more than what the hell the Philistine was, and then what the lion and the bear was. I slayed a lion and I slayed a bear. And this Philistine ain't nothing more than a lion or a bear. He's another animal waiting to get put down. Brother, that's one West. That's one way. This is an animal. Look at him. He's an animal waiting to get put down. He's slobbering at the mouth in the middle of the battlefield. He's salivating over himself because he believes no one will challenge him. He's an animal waiting to get put down. My king, I already put down 2 other animals. Let me put down the 3rd animal for you. Read on.
Seeing he has defied the armies of the living power. Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Most High has delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Most High be with thee.
David told him all that, and Saul had no rebuttal. Saul said, there's nothing I can say to stop this man. He didn't kill the lion and the bear with his bare hands over sheep. Like, brother, it wasn't over his flesh and blood sister, his flesh and blood brother, his mother, his father, his woman, his kids. It wasn't over none of that. David killed a lion and a bear with bare hands because they tried to take his sheep. You understand? Saul said, there's nothing I'm going to say to this man that's going to stop him from wanting to kill this beast that stands before us. And since no one else here has the courage to stand before this man, damn it, David, you go handle it. Read. You see how David handled this? Meanwhile, you got brothers you got to get on the damn phone with, and they telling you, I don't think I could do camp in my city. That's just going to be too, I don't know. You know them folks be out here. Yeah, they be out here jogging and marching with them little dogs. I don't know. You know, City Hall just passed a law. You arguing with brothers like that on the phone all damn day. Meanwhile, David ran down his accomplishments to Saul to the point where Saul had to let him do what he wanted to do. He had to. Those are the men that joined One West. Those are the men that are a part of One West. You run down the accomplishments of the men of One West to an average man, brother, it's astounding. When you lay out your accomplishments before the average man, you look like a superhero. You are a superhero to them. You are everything to them. You are the world to them when you run down those accomplishments. It's foreign to them. Read.
And so, verse 38. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put his helmet of brass upon his head. Also, he armed him with a coat of mail.
Right. So now Saul is trying to, I'm going to drop down for time's sake. I got a couple other things I want to get into. As y'all know in this part, Saul tried to give David, he dropped down to 42. Saul tried to give David new armor, new weapons and things like that. And David never used them before. So David said, all respect, my king, I cannot use something I haven't proven. I mean, I never fought with a chain of armor on me. I've never fought with this type of weapon. Let me use my slingshot because that's what I've always used. You understand? That's why the truth in I.S.U.P.K has remained unchanged since 1969, because it's what we've always used. It's the same thing that helps us win every battle. We win every battle with the same thing that was taught since 1969. Why in the hell would we change it? It makes no sense. We won't change it. It doesn't make sense to change it. Read.
Verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and bloody and of a fair countenance.
Let me tell you something, man. You look at David, you just know David gets all the women, brother. You just know. You saw David, you said, damn it, I'm not letting him around the woman I like because David will try to make a move. So I can. That's when you looked at David and you thought David was ruddy, of a fair countenance, and a youth. And the Philistine looked down on him and said, you sent this after me? You sent this? The Philistine is standing up there with war scars and war wounds. A patch over, like a scar here, muscular, a burn mark here. He's just been through all types of wars. He's looking at this clean-bodied, handsome in the face young man, saying, you sent him to come to war with me. Read on.
Verse 43. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with spades? And the Philistine cursed David by his God.
He said, by the God of Ra, El, and Isis, David will not beat me on this day. He cursed him. He cursed David on that day. He said, by his God, Ra, and what's that African one? Was it Anbu or Abu or something like that? That dog one? Whatever the name of that dog, whatever them Africans worship over there, he cursed him by the names of his gods. Read.
Verse 44. And the Philistines said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field.
He said, see, let me tell you something, bro. He said, come in. I'm going to feed you to the flocks of the air. I'm going to feed you to the vultures, the ones that pick at things that they see dead and they just pick at the flesh. I'm going to feed you to the hyenas that's going to see you dead. You're going to eat on your flesh. I will not allow your people to come bury you for challenging me. Read on.
Verse 45. Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Most High of hosts, in the name of the Lord of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied.
Read on.
Verse 46. This day will the Most High deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel.
Let me tell you something, brother. This is something I practice religiously. I practice this daily. Brother, when you are just talking the truth, people are going to insult you. That's what they're going to do. They're going to insult you. People will insult your personality, your characteristics, your body, your face, your weight, your height. People will just insult you because the things you're saying are too much for them. The Philistines saw David and said, I'm going to feed you to the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air. And that sounded hot, didn't it? Said, woo, you're going to hurt this man. And then David said what? All glory be to the Most High. Everything goes, all the blessing, everything that's righteous, it's all the Most High. None of this is of me. Everything goes to the Most High. Because you challenged him, that's why I have to come do you dirty. That's why I have to come kill you. However, since I have to come kill you, not only will I feed your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field, I'm going to spread it around the earth. And everyone will know not to mess with the armies of the living God. Brother, it's something I practice so religiously. Like, so religious. We're going to get into another instance. I might just pull it right after this. So religiously to the point where people are going to insult you and you're going to have to cut them with the truth. And then the time comes where you can just rail on them, brother. You can just rail. The truth, it just allows you to rail on them. You bring up enough scripture and that demon just fully comes out of them. Brother, it feels so good to be able to say, oh, you're just doing that because you're gay. Brother, it does your soul good. It's like you let out the, like when you're arguing with someone and you know that, okay, this is their problem. The reason why they're arguing is that this is their problem right here. But you have to be wise about it and get them to the right point. And then you get them to that point, like David got the Philistine at that point. after giving all the glory to the Most High, said, I will spread your body parts throughout the earth, and everyone will know not to mess with the living God. Brother, that is the perfect insult. That is the perfect insult. No sweat. You're going to do me like that? Because you defied God, I'm going to do you like this. Brother, I love it. I live for it. I love it. As you all know, David he used his slingshot, shot a rock into his forehead, killed the Philistine, took Goliath's sword, picked this big, huge sword up, chopped his head off, and brought his head back to Saul. You understand? That's how it ended for Goliath. Drop that. Give me 1 Kings 18 and 21. If Captain Zariak was here, he would enjoy this one. I believe this is one of his favorite precepts in the Bible. Give me 1 Kings 18 and 21. Come.
If I make sure that sounds like, that's like in Judges when Samson when he killed the lion, how it said, you know what I'm saying, it specifically said that the spirit of the Most High came upon him. And so when he killed him, he rent the lion like it was a baby sheep.
Like, yeah, man, like the spirit of the Most High allows you to do all of that. That's the spirit of the Most High is the will. I mean, like the Most High wanted him to kill. He wanted him to kill the lion. He wanted him to, man. You understand? The same way the Most High wanted David to kill the Philistine. So David killed him. He killed it. He told Saul, I killed 2 animals already. He'll be my 3rd animal. What they say, third time was a charm? He'll be my 3rd animal, and then you'll believe what I'm telling you. Let me go kill my 3rd animal, and you'll know what I say is true. Read 1 Kings 18 and 21. I'm probably not gonna get to all my precepts today, but y'all understand what I'm saying. A coward is not one less. David was no coward. Samson was no coward. He fell to a woman, but he was no coward. You understand? Please give me 1 Kings. There you go.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long ye between 2 opinions? If the Most High be out, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
There was a king. Ahab was king at the time. Ahab was wicked. Ahab was causing all the people to sin at this time. Right? Elijah came, talked to Ahab. I believe he talked to Obadiah first. Talked to Obadiah. Obadiah brought him to Ahab. He said, why are you making the people sin? He said, no, you're not a righteous man. He says, I am the only righteous man. Why are you making the people sin? All right. Then he says, how about this? Let's settle it. If the Most High be God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. Why was he saying that? We have a bad habit of following pagan customs and saying it's in the name of the Lord. Christians follow nothing but pagan customs and say they believe in Jesus. Brother, that's not new. We were trying to follow the laws of God. And it's like we were trying to follow a bastardized version of the laws of God, but really serving Baal. So Elijah's like, pick a side. If the Most High is God, if he's your power, let him be your power. But if Baal be your power, let him be your power. No fence, you can't sit the fence. Good.
Verse 22. Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I only, remain a prophet of the Most High. But Baal's prophets are 450 men.
Brother, these wicked people in this world are going to outnumber you by 450 to 1 or more. There's like 7 billion people on earth. You can never be afraid. this story with Elijah is like, it's a little comedy, but it's just hilarious, bro. Like, it's hilarious. How he treats the people who believe they'll one up on him is something to marvel at. Read on.
Verse 23. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock.
1 second. I'm gonna just paraphrase that part. So you're gonna sacrifice something, and the God that answers by fire is the real God. So if your God Baal burns if you put your offering on the altar and Baal burns it, then your God is the real God. But if I put my offering on my altar and my God burns it, then the Most High is the real God. Right? That was simple enough. Right? Drop down to 26.
Verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made.
There was no voice. They said, "Oh, Baal, answer." It was crickets. It was haystacks rolling. There's nothing going on. Baal, stop playing. You're taking your time for it. Baal, answer. Crickets. Crickets. Read on. Let's see what Elijah said. Brother, I love this. Brother, I practice this so much. Like, brother, it's so much fun. It damn near should be illegal to do this. It's so much fun. Good. But it's completely lawful. It's good. You should all practice this. It's good. Read.
Verse 27. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a power, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awake.
He said, hold up. Didn't you call Baal? He's sitting there watching him call Baal like this. That's it? You done? Well, you need to call Baal, right? Is he sleeping? Maybe he on a journey. Maybe he went to the store. It's your God, right? Did he take a journey? Then you sure? Cry loud. Cry a little louder. Maybe he didn't hear you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he got an ear infection or something. Maybe he couldn't hear you. Brother, this is hilarious. This is pure comedy. This is comedy, brother. Baal is your God. Talk a little louder. Maybe he just couldn't hear you. Maybe he down the street somewhere. Maybe he got to until he come back. Maybe wherever his house is at, he down the street right now. He can't answer the phone. Brother, this is comedy at its finest. At its finest. Oh, you said your God is the real God. How come he's never there when you need him? Because Baal is not a real God. Baal is an imposter. Baal is something that people made up to make themselves feel good. But if Baal was real, Baal wouldn't be taking no journey. Baal wouldn't be sleep. When you call on the Most High is never sleep. He's never taking a journey. The Most High is never down the street. Read. Come.
If I may, sir. That's like what you're saying, like, well, he is in a journey. That's like saying, like, he went on vacation.
Damn, did your God go on vacation? Like, did he put in this 2-week notice? Did he let you know this was happening? Like, I did tell you we was doing a sacrifice. Like, we having a debate. This is a sacrifice competition. Like, who's correct? Didn't you tell your God you needed him on April 10th? Where is he at? No answer. He said, cry loud, talk louder. I'm pretty sure if he's not on the journey, maybe he got an earache or something. Maybe he in a deep sleep. Maybe he took some NyQuil. Maybe he can't hear you right now. Brother, this is pure mockery at its finest, and I love it. It's so fun. My brother, if you ever get the chance to do this in the right situation, it's hard. It takes so much discipline to not laugh. I've done this before with some Jehovah's Witnesses. It's so hard not to laugh. I didn't laugh, but it's so hard not to laugh. It's the funniest thing in the world. This is your God? Well, where's he at? When you needed him, where was he? You say you follow him, right? Brother, it's the funniest thing in the world. It's the funniest thing in the world. Drop down to read the next verse, actually.
Verse 28. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lances, till the blood gushed out upon them.
Meaning they sacrifice animals, and then they went even more pagan and heathenistic and began to cut themselves, cut their wrists, cut their arms, to bleed the blood out of them, to sacrifice human blood to Baal can answer. Maybe, okay, he'll answer my blood, me. For cutting and slicing and dicing. And he cut themselves to the blood gushed out. They all cut themselves to the area was just full of blood. That's how desperate they was to try to get that fake God to answer that would have never answered. Read on.
29. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded.
Meaning they waited hours, man. They did this in the morning, because it says when midday passed until the time of the evening. Meaning if they did this at 9 a.m., they sit here calling Baal till 6 o'clock. And Baal is just on vacation in the Bahamas somewhere with a margarita and a fine dime piece, not picking up the phone. Brother, it was all bad for them that day. Read on.
Verse 30. And Elijah said unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of the Most High that was broken down.
Now you drop down. Now you drop down to 36.
Verse 36.
No.
And it came.
Ain't gonna read.
Verse 36. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art power in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Verse 37.
Meaning that mocking, the Most High approved of all of that mocking. Read on.
Verse 37. Give me, O Lord, give me, that this people may know that thou art the Most High power, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Verse 38. Then the fire of the Most High fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, that the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. Verse 39. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Most High, he is the power. The Most High, he is the power.
And that's all she wrote, man. That's all she wrote. That's like the courage you need to have. Elijah stood in front of 450 prophets of Baal. One verse. Let me tell you something. You and 8 other brothers at camp going up against a crowd of 30 people, 20 people. And you sitting there thinking in your mind, I ain't never coming back to camp. This is too dangerous. This is too dangerous. I could never have this in my city. Brother, stay the hell away. Don't come. I told y'all this so many times before. Do not come to camp if I gotta watch my side and your side. What the hell are you at camp for if I have to watch your side and my side? If you're on the right side of the camp, and I'm on the left side of the camp, and I know you're incompetent, that means I have to watch your side as well. Just don't come to camp. So I know at least I'll know I have to watch both sides. There won't be a pretender standing in that spot. I'll know. It's so much easier to just say, I don't have the courage to do camp. I can do class and I can do this, like that, but I cannot do camp. Brother, it is better for me. It's better. Now I know you're not showing up and I have to watch both sides. Rather than you showing up and pretending like you're watching that side, just so we can get blindsided by someone with a damn bat who wants to kill the priests and prophets of the Lord. It's so much better for you just not show up. Because Elijah showed up versus 450 by his damn self. And he didn't piss his pants. He laughed in their face and said, is Baal on vacation? He should have answered by now. I've been calling him since 9 a.m. It's 6 o'clock. The sun is setting. Is Baal back? Did his answer machine pick up? You can't leave him a message, nothing. Like, brother, that's what Baal did. Baal did that. It's like Elijah did that. You understand? If you can't imagine yourself doing that, if you can't enact that in today's life, do not stand next to me at camp, because then at least I'll know, okay, I gotta watch this side and this side. At least I'll know beforehand. You understand? Everyone understand me? All right, drop that. Give me I got time for one more story. Paul walks on water. Give me Acts 7:54. Acts 7:54.
Book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 54. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth.
Now,
Verse 55.
the things they heard, I'm going to give you a backdrop, because this story starts from like the beginning of the chapter, and I'm not reading 60 verses. I'm not. This is the story of Stephen. You heard of Stephen? Stephen got stoned in the Bible. Stephen was stoned. Paul watched. Before he became Paul, Paul watched as Stephen got stoned. Right? Stephen ran down the history of us. From Adam all the way to recently, how we messed up, came back. Just our story of trying to be righteous, talking to a bunch of sinners. This is his last words. Read on.
Verse 55. But he, being full of the Holy Spirit, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of the Most High, and Yahushua standing on the right hand of the Most High. Verse 56. And said, behold, I see the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of the Most High.
What is Stephen thinking at this very moment? Remember, Stephen's a prophet, so Stephen is what? What does your jacket say on it? Soccer war.
The man of war, sir.
Stephen is a man of war. Stephen is a prophet, so Stephen's a man of war. He knows they want to stone him. A man of war does not, no matter what the situation, you don't concede, right? You don't concede. If there's a way, you find a way. But the heavens opened up and he saw the Most High in Christ. What is Stephen thinking now?
Verse 57.
No. What is Stephen thinking now? Stephen's a man of war. He'll fight tooth and nail to the death. However, he just saw the heavens and the sky open up in the fourth dimension. What does that mean? What is he thinking? This is it. This is his last lap. This is his last hurrah. The end of Stephen's journey. Read on.
Verse 57. Then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord.
So meaning they're listening, right? They're pretending like Stephen was dropping so much stuff on them. So much stuff. Remember, verse 54 says when they heard everything he was saying, it would cut to the heart. He was telling the story of Adam and Abraham and Christ and Moses and Mattathias. He's telling them all these things. And when they heard it, it cut them to their heart. I mean, it cut their mind. Everything they wanted to do to him, it just cut it. The reasons they hated him, cut it. All of that. You understand? That's what it did to him. Then they stopped their ears and just ran up on him. Good.
Verse 58. And cast it out of the city and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their clothes at a young man's feet whose name was Saul. Verse 59. And they stoned Stephen, calling upon the Most High, and saying, Lord, Yahushua, receive my spirit.
Stephen knew this was it. He just said, receive my spirit. This is my last hurrah. Receive me back until you're ready to send me back. Yeah.
Now come verse 60. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep.
He kneeled down and cried with a loud voice and said, don't blame them for this, please. Please, Lord, do not blame them for killing me. Please. And when he said this, he fell asleep. Stephen ain't piss his pants and say, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'll be a Christian. I'll be a Christian. See, that's what... I ain't gonna say y'all, because y'all would never do this, I know. But that's what a man of today would do. A man of today would say, please don't, no. When people leave the truth, brother, they always go back to Christmas and they go back to Easter and Thanksgiving. And that's them saying, no. Please don't hate me. I'll be a Christian again. I'll be a Christian again. I promise I will. Just don't kill me. Don't hate me. Don't exclude me from family activities. I'll be a Christian. I promise you. Stephen ain't begged for that, man. Stephen saw that they were determined to kill him, and Stephen said, all right, it's over. Most High, just if you could, take my spirit back up till you're ready to send me back down. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. And please forgive my brothers for stoning me. That's a warrior. You debating whether or not you want to come to camp. Just stay home with your woman, man. Stay the hell home, please. Please. Jesus. Like, is it that? It can't be that hard to buy in. Like, damn, it can't be that hard for him. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Man, so I don't believe it, man. In my city, yes, in your city we having camp. Yes. In my city, I don't know if they're gonna receive it, but no sweat. Why don't you just stay home while we make sure they receive it? Why don't you do that? We'll make sure they receive it, and you can stay home and watch reruns of Power Rangers with your nieces and nephews. You just go ahead and do that. You just go ahead and handle your business. You understand? That being said, I'd end the class. You know what I mean? Any last questions? All right, no sweat, no sound Christ. That being said, Actually, I'm gonna do a salad right quick. Yeah, we gonna Shabbat, Majim, Rock, Yahabbashim, Shabbat. All right, for any sisters that may be on the call or on the YouTube, Shabbat, Majim, Rock, Yahabbashim, Shabbat. I ain't at me, I'll stay diligent. All right, YouTube. We gone. I'm talking to YouTube like that shit person and shit.